Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to be talking about Excel. So we're going to talk about how to do all four graphs that we've talked about in Excel. So make sure you have this same assignment 9 notes Excel sheet pulled up. That way you can just follow along with me, do exactly as I do, and at the end make sure you save this Excel sheet because you are going to turn it in as part of your notes. All right, so example 1. We have our results from a couple things in our beginning of class survey here. So this is with 4 different classes put together. So the first one was, would you try Hot Ones? For those of you who had never heard of it, Hot Ones is just a online show that essentially they eat hot wings that get hotter and hotter while they ask celebrities questions. All right. So here was our results. So most of you actually said you would try it, which is awesome. So for this is a qualitative question. All right, because its choices were yes, no, or never heard of it. Right? There's no actual numbers in your responses. So that's what makes it qualitative. So for qualitative, we had 2 different graphs we can do. A bar graph and a pie chart. Right? So we're going to look at how to do those in Excel. First up, the bar graph. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and highlight our choices and the number of students. You're going to go up here to Insert, and then over in Charts, you'll see this one, Insert Column or Bar Chart. So we're just going to use this very first one. Now they have a whole bunch of different ones, 3D ones, different styles, but we're just going to use this very first one right here. We're going to go ahead and drag it over to our question. All right, now this is a good start. It has our responses. It already has them graphed up to the correct number. The only thing is it is missing a few things. So remember, we need a title and we gotta label those axes. So for the title, if you just double click up there in chart title, oops, 1 second. There we go. Sorry, I'm working with my laptop's little touchpad. I'm not used to it right now. So we can go up here though, and we can type in a new title. So let's just call this one, Would You Try Hot Ones? Okay. Now we still need our axis to be labeled though, right? Because we got the choices down here, we have the number of students to the left. So if we click this plus up here at the top right, go to Axis Titles and click, now we have both the axis titles on there, and we can just go ahead and type them in. So the y-axis was the number of students, and the x-axis was the choices. And there we go. That's a basic bar graph done. Now there's plenty of other things that you can put. You can put data labels right here, and you can see that it'll actually tell you the exact number. You can put a table underneath it. Error bars are something we'll talk about way later in the course. A legend if you had more than one thing that you're graphing at a time. You can have a whole bunch of control. You can change all the colors, all the fonts, all that good stuff. But for now, this is just how you get a basic one on there. All right. So I'm just going to click away from that. And now we're going to create another one. This time we're going to do a pie chart. All right, so again, highlight the data, insert, and right here you should see insert pie or donut chart. Again, there's multiple different ones and they all have their different uses, but for now we're just going to do a regular 2D pie chart. And again, I'm just going to drag this right underneath, give it a title, so again, I'm trying to get used to my keyboard here real quick. Alright, let me do that again. Just delete that. Again, we just put, would you try hot ones? And this one automatically even gives us our legend, so it tells us what color is yes, what color is no, what color is never heard of it. And again, if you would like to put data labels, that will give you the exact number in each category. Alright, so there is our pie chart. Alright, so for example 2. This one's going to be the question about ramen. So by far, chicken was the most popular flavor. There were a bunch of different variations on the same flavors, so we did lump some of them together. Like for example, I know spicy shrimp and spicy lime shrimp. We just kind of lumped those all into spicy shrimp because we didn't want 20 different flavors on here. But we still had a good amount of variety. So again, if this is favorite flavors of ramen, then this is again qualitative because it wasn't about numbers. So let's go ahead and make these same 2 charts. So first off, insert, go to the bar graph, first 2D one. I'm just going to drag it here underneath. Alright, so again, we are going to need those axis titles. So I'm going to go ahead and throw those in there. So our y-axis was again the number of students. The x-axis this time was the flavor. And the title, we'll just say favorite ramen flavor. And there we go, there's our basic bar graph for it. So next up, our pie chart. Again, just select our data right there, insert, pie chart, first option. I'm going to go ahead and drag it underneath down here. For the pie chart, pretty much everything's done already for us, other than the title. So we're just going to make sure we put the title, favorite ramen flavor. And there you go, it's done. Again, don't forget, you can play around with this stuff. You can give it data labels. You can click on the pie chart. You can say what kind of shadows and glows and 3D stuff. You can say the angles. You can say everything about this that you want. But this is the basic, really easy one. And you can also do things like change the legend to a certain side. Again, this won't be a tutorial on how to make it look nice. This is more just a tutorial on how to get some of this basics down, right? How to actually get the graphs up there. All right, so next up then, for example 3, right here, we have a list of 25 student grades. All right, so this time, this is quantitative, because these are numbers. So normally this is the one that we would put into a binned frequency chart, binned frequency table, and we would go through, see what our ranges are going to be, do all of that by hand, right? Good news, with Excel, you don't have to do any of it by hand. Excel can do it all for you. So we're going to go ahead and just highlight all of this data, insert. It's not going to be the bar graph one, but down and to the right of it, at least on my computer, it's down to the right. You see insert statistic chart. If you click that, the first one is histogram. There's another one right next to it that looks kind of similar, but we want the histogram one. So we're going to click that. Okay. Again, you can make these look however you want. Absolutely doesn't matter. Let's go with this one just for some variety. But as you can see right now, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 bins. Well, that's not very useful. Which, by the way, let me just put this down underneath as well. These 4 bins aren't very useful. We have data all the way from 40 to 99 on here, and it's just lumping them into 4 categories. This doesn't do me much good because I don't want to know who is between 74 and 91. I would want to know more of who's in, each grade range, right? So here's what we can do. Down here at the bottom, where you see these little ranges of numbers, we're just going to give that a click. And then on the right, if it's not automatically selecting this axis options right here, click that, click the axis options, and you're going to see bins. Right now it's set on automatic. So automatic just automatically puts it in however many bins it wants. We could set it to number of bins. So say I wanted, 6 different bins. It automatically sets it up to where there's 6 different bins. If I set this to 10, it automatically sets up the numbers to where there'll be 10 different bins. But in our case, we don't really care how many bins there are. We mainly just want each bin to be 10 points wide, right? So we're just going to set bin width, this one right here, to 10, press enter, and now this is perfect. 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, so on, all the way to 100. Has the exact ranges we want. So now all we need to do is we need to go ahead and put our axis titles on there. Up at the top, for chart title, I'm just going to put something like, let's say these were test 1 grades. Down here at the bottom, this would be the grade ranges. And over on the y-axis, that's just how many students fell into that grade range. So number of students. And there we go. It made a histogram. We set up the grade range the exact way that we wanted to. Everything's perfect. All right, let's do one more. So example 4. Average temperature highs in Houston by month. So we have all the months. We have the temperatures that it was during that month. All right. Again, we're going to select all of this. But this time, instead of doing a histogram, what we're going to do is we're going to do a line chart. So insert. Just underneath the bar graph here, you're going to see insert line or area chart. And we're not actually going to pick the first one on this one. We're going to go over here to the one that says line with markers, just because that's automatically going to give us some nice points that are very visible, very easy to see. So that's the one that we're going to use for now. And I'm going to move this down here. All right, as always, let's go ahead and add those axis titles. Go ahead and give it a title and label our axis. So for the title, Houston average high temperatures. For the x-axis, well, it's pretty obvious to see that these are just the months. So x-axis is the month, and the y-axis over here, that would be the temperature. Oh, I got rid of it. There we go. All right, so everything's labeled. Only thing I would do now is if we go up and we click add again, we're going to want to go to this grid lines, press the arrow next to grid lines, and I like for my line graphs to actually have some vertical grid lines as well, because right now all we have is some horizontal ones. So I'm going to turn on the primary, minor, vertical, just because I like the way it looks a little bit better. It gives us a bit more of a regular math graph look with the grid lines. All right, and then again, if you would like to have the data labels, you can. It tells you exactly what they are for each point. But this is the basic line chart. All right, so the gist of it is, as long as you already have your data, you just select it in your Excel, go to Insert, select what kind of graph you want, and Excel does most of the work for you. You just need to label your stuff correctly. That's really it. All right, so with that said, make sure that you have all 6 of these graphs in this file. So 2 for the first 2 examples, 1 for each of the last 2 examples. Make sure you save it. And then whenever you're turning in your notes, turn in this Excel file as well. All right, doesn't matter if it's .xls or .xlsx. Either way is fine, just as long as you're turning it in. All right, and with that, that is the end of this video. Bye, guys.